Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the YouTube channel, and I can't help from typing like that because I'm here with Norris Andrews, Ryan Murphy here in the booth for the first time in a long time. And unfortunately, Norris, this does not come in a situation where we are quite prepared, because we are not even in the slightest, because we are doing a favor, per se, by hosting this broadcast for Geo Turpin and his Piston Cup Series League. Now, we did do some broadcasts last season. They had some pretty good races. Norris, I don't know if you recall, I remember Auto Club being a pretty good race last season that they had. Dover wasn't bad. I remember Dover was an interesting race. I'm pretty sure Auto Club was the best one, though, because didn't Auto Club go flag to flag, if I remember correctly? I believe it did go flag to flag. That was a pretty exciting race. But either way, we're back here, newly revamped series. Geo Turpin, the admin here, he's also going to be racing tonight in the number 84 Toyota. Couple of drivers in here looking to get a win at the Daytona International Speedway. This 2.5-mile speedway located in South Florida. And we're going to see if maybe some of these drivers can have a little fun. Try not to wreck too much. It's going to be a 70-lap feature event tonight. And currently they are in the midst of qualifying, with the fastest time going to none other than Jamie McKinney. Cole Denton just behind him. The Rocket Kid himself. They're in a dead heat for that top spot with Blaine Miller. And I say that as Sean Rowe comes across the line with a 49.27. Puts him top of the board. Now, Tyler Curley's about 8/10 back there. Now, he could jump up to the top of the board pretty quickly. Geo Turpin jumps up to that second place spot after completing his second lap. I believe Curley is more than likely in the midst of his second lap if I were a betting man, Norris. Let me look and see maybe if we can find him in here. Oh, he is upside down on the front straightaway. Oh, my goodness. That is not good. I also realize Norris Andrews cannot see my point of view, so I'm going to give that to him so now he can see that. He just completely missed the Tyler Curley blowover. But we only have less than a tenth between the top 8 qualifiers, which I believe will be the only ones to qualify. The rest will just be seeded based on their overall I rating. So that's going to be what I assume, Norris, is your top 9 qualifiers, with Sean Rowe taking the pole position, and he also happens to be the thumbnail for tonight's race. So pretty fun, pretty exciting, fun stuff. Oh, and my Siri is trying to intervene in some commentating here. Anyways, Norris, so like we were saying, we're just here to have a good time. I don't think we're really going to be taking this too seriously. We're just going to have some fun. We really didn't know we were doing this, or I didn't at least until last night. Norris is kind enough to join me to make this a little more bearable. So yeah, I think we're just gonna have us a good time. I just cracked open a cold Coca-Cola, and we're just gonna be living it up. Norris, what's your drink of choice tonight? You got anything going while we're watching these cars go around Daytona? No, that's boring. That's boring. You gotta get like a Coca-Cola or something. Not sponsored. That's so real. You know, it's funny. I don't ever even actually drink Coke normally, like regular Coca-Cola. I never do. I don't know what has led me to do such a thing, but That is fair. Let me see. Our cameras are trying to be annoying here. They are really not working right now. This is kind of bothering me. There we go. It's because whoever I was looking at wasn't spawned on the racetrack. But there you see your front row, Sean Rowe in the 99 number 99 Davidson Toyota Camry. And starting to his outside is going to be that number 84 Carvana Chevrolet of Geo Turpin. I was gonna say that's second only to you, Norris Andrews, only to you. 44 car, starting on the inside of row 2. That's Jamie McKinney. To his outside is going to be none other than that Rocket Kid Cole Denton. Now Cole Denton has had himself quite the year, driving his Legends car down at a Atlanta Motor Speedway during Thursday Night Thunder. I want to say through 8 outings, Norris, that Cole Denton has 6 wins in 8 outings. I think so. Given how quick this young man is, I think that's more than can be assumed. I'd say he's definitely going to be up there someday. Inside of row number 3, Blaine Miller in that number 91 SVG, kind of mirroring paint scheme from Chicago of last year. Very cool looking paint scheme. You can never go wrong with any of SVG's cars. I don't think he's ever had a bad one, which when you drive for Trackhouse, it's hard to have a bad paint scheme. To his outside is going to be that 6 car, that Mobile 1 Gold Ford Mustang of Bryce Sanders. Now, we know how Bryce races. He likes to get aggressive. He likes to do things his way, and, well, if you don't like it, that's your problem. So we'll see him starting in that 3rd row if he's able to power up to the front. Now, just behind him on the inside, that's going to be Tyler Curley, who has a very similar mindset. He gets behind the race car, and he is a completely different beast. Tyler Curley going to be starting in that 7th spot. And with to his outside, it's going to be Jordan Powell. It says number 75 on the leaderboard, number 57 in actuality, and in our hearts, that High Rock Vodka Toyota Camry. Behind Curley, that's going to be Joshua Parks Stanford. To his outside is Brad Havrilla. And then rounding out the rest of the field, Brady Cox, Justin Rott, Matthew McDonald, and Wyatt Youngblood, who all chose not to put down a lap and just be set in order. But here they are as things run. The pace car getting set to pull off the racetrack, Norris, and it's been a long time since we've been able to say this together on YouTube, but we're just here to have a grand old time. Sean Rowe leading the field into the Geico restart zone. Green flags in the air, and now we're racing for 70 laps here at Daytona. Ooh, big run by Sean Rowe there right through the middle of turn 2. He gave Geo Turpin a shot off the exit of the corner. He had a full head of steam, and luckily Gio was able to hold on to it. But Cole Denton really has that outside line on a roll. Whoa, Gio Turpin got knocked way down below the yellow line. Here's the thing about Sean Rowe. If you've ever run with Sean Rowe at a plate track on iRacing, he is one of the most aggressive pushers in the game. Now, that's not to say he's bad at it. He is very much good at pushing. The only thing is if you're not ready for that big bump that's going to come, well, you may as well just be along for the ride. But he makes a move to the outside, and he's going to take the race lead with a big shove from Cole Denton. Very much so, and now they've got a 3-car length advantage. Sanders jumps down to that bottom line. He's got a bumper on Cole Denton, who's not able to fill that hole down low, but now it looks like those top 2 cars are just trying to break away, but no! Cole Denton says, I want that lead, give it to me, and he jumps down to the bottom. Sean Rowe out front right now, 2 wide all the way out back. Jordan Powell takes a look to the outside, thinks about 3 wide, but ends up lifting. He's going to hold on to that 3rd place spot behind Geo Turpin. Gio looks like he's content to just lock bumpers here with Sean Rowe, but man, that 12 car gave a big shot to the 29, and they had a little bit of a domino effect up there on that outside line, but everybody keeps it straight at least for now. '46 of Cole Denton looked like he lost a couple spots there too. The 29 car of Avrilla jumped down in front of him. I think it took him by surprise, but they managed to gather things back up. They're going to be pulling back up on these leaders as Gio Turpin's going to have a mirror full of the 29. Oh, big push! Big push from Jordan Powell. That was a big shove from that 12 car of Justin Rott, but man, they checked up just in time. That was not going to be pretty if all that momentum drilled into the back of Sean Rowe. Five laps have already come and gone here at Daytona, and somehow these drivers have had so many close moments, but they're still keeping these things underneath them. We're back into 2 wide. Woohoo! Watch that 12 car making it 3 wide, going for second place. But look at the 42 as well of McDonald. He holds on to that 3 wide, forces Jordan Powell up top, and now he's lost about 6 spots in the process. Yeah, Cole Denton gets a big run here to the back of McKinney. But man, look, that's got to be a terrifying sight. Cole Denton was just out front less than basically 2 laps ago, and now he's got the whole field in front of him. Now, luckily, there's only about 15 cars in this race, so you don't have to go through a lot. You can make a lot of big moves, but that's still a lot of ground to make up in a short period of time as you see the 91 jump out to the high side. Three wide for the race lead. That's Sean Rowe in the middle. Now, you mentioned it earlier, Norris. He's stuck in the vacuum. He's going to get sucked all the way to the back. But Tyler Curley with a big bout of momentum on the high side. Yep, McDonald down there on the bottom. He's trying to push Brady Cox in that 76 Chevrolet. But whatever momentum that bottom lane had, it's just not rolling for them right now. As look at Blaine Miller jumping down to the bottom is that young man. He's going to try to lead that bottom, surging back to the front. Yeah. That back half of the field, they're getting a little bit more scattered out now. Now, you would think, oh, that's not a good thing. But as you can see, look at them all come right back into frame. Everybody pulls right back up together. And Jordan Powell smacks the outside wall. I would say that's basically going to leave him hanging out to dry. Sean Rowe was in that exchange as well. These 3 cars, Havrilla, Turpin, and Rowe, are way behind the leaders, and they have lost plenty of time to this pack. See that 44 of McKinney, he just gave a huge shot to Curley to try to hold on to the lead. But that's the thing, you can watch these 2 rows. You have to drive both of these differently in order to stay in this 2 wide situation. Blaine Miller down there on the bottom, he's leading. He's not getting a whole lot of pushing as he has to make a big save there. But when they're going down the back straightaway, you don't have to rely on the push as much. You get it a little off the corner. But when you're on the high side, you have to rely on that push halfway down the straightaway. 3/4, all basically into turn 3 as Tyler Curley throws a big block down to the bottom to try to hold on to the lead. Now the 44 of McKinney, he's got to run up top now. He got Curley out of his way, and he said, all right, let me go ahead and clear this thing up. And now you've got 2 Advent Health Toyota Camrys locking out the front row. Whoa! Yep, Sean Rowe and Gio Turpin are back there as well. They've still got a little bit more ground to make up, but Cole Denton, he is coming with a full head of steam. He's got the slipstream of the 44 car. He makes a move to the inside. He holds on to second, but man, that frees up that outer lane now for the 12 car as he takes to the point. Yep, Sean Rowe, he's going to have all that momentum killed. Gio Turpin's going to be forced to stay in the middle there with McDonald. Actually, he doesn't. He's going to check up a little bit, allow Sean Rowe to fall down in line. That makes things a little bit easier for him, so he's able to stay with the lead pack. But the 44 still out front, and the 12 still driving it off turn 4 to try to take this race lead. Off the corner, McKinney still out front. He jumps up to the high side to block the run from that 12 car. The 12 opts to push, but oh, we got a big run of Rilla into the 12. Knocks him down into the grass and a near blowover for Rott, but he keeps the car straight. I would hope so. That car is still spinning out in the back, but it's still green right now on the racing surface as Tyler Curley comes to power around the outside with Brady Cox in tow. Oh, Youngblood, he throws a block on his teammate there of Sean Rowe. Now Sean Rowe puts his own teammate 3 wide. Yep, Brady Cox, Tyler Curley, and Jamie McKinney in a 3-car breakaway, and Cole Denton leading that second pack of cars. About 10 car lengths back, he's going to be digging into this draft, and it looks like he's already got the slipstream to dig back to the front. Does he go to the high side? Blaine Miller thought about it. Now look at Wyatt Youngblood. Now he's coming with a full head of steam alongside his teammate. Gio Turpin jumps up there to maybe give him some assistance. Stalls out the run. And now look at Cole Denton jumping to the high side. Man, this onboard really gives you that sensation of speed as we ride on board with Wyatt Youngblood. Look at Curley. Curley jumped up out of the bottom line. He's now leading Gio Turpin and this top line of Toyotas, and he surges out front in his 43. Sean Rowe, 3 wide through the middle. He's got the run, but he's got no help. Oh, and he turns McKinney. 2 cars. Youngblood has to go to avoid it. And he makes it through, but that's going to be a caution on the speedway. That was gnarly. Gnarly. Really close contact. A game of inches. Let's run it back and see if we can see what happened as McKinney gets spun down the back straightaway. It's exactly what happened, Norris. If we watch from the nose camera, you can see he had his nose up to the outside on corner exit, middle of turn 2. He's already peeking to the outside. He's decided whether he knows it or not, he has committed to making this move. It's either going to cause him and the 44 to lose time to those 2 Toyotas in front, or he's going to do exactly what he did. Try to jump back down into line a little too late. Sometimes it's really hard to see over these long hoods of those Camaros. And hooks him right in the quarter panel. Ow! Man, wicked crash, parts flying everywhere. But despite that semi-heavy hit that the 76 took after the fact, the damage does not look terrible. We'll have to wait and see. Little bit there on that left rear quarter. McKinney coming up behind him. Oh, maybe showing some displeasure there with the 76, and rightfully so. An unfortunate end, or maybe not end, but an unfortunate incident to put both these guys behind the 8-ball, as it looks like pretty much everybody has opted to come down pit road. No, it's definitely possible. You see, they kind of had a 4-car breakaway going from that full lead pack, and with Brady being that 4th car, he has the biggest slipstream. He's going to have the biggest run when they come off the corner. Now, does that mean it would last if he jumped out of line? No, probably not. He doesn't have the help or the push. But at the same time, you feel like, you can make a move work like that if you time your side draft correctly. And just like you mentioned, if he done it mid-corner, he started the side draft early, maybe was hoping he was going to pull that 44 car back a little bit sooner, and then was maybe able to drop in front of him about halfway down the back straightaway, and just didn't work out the way he'd hoped. Two Toyotas out front. League manager Gio Turpin down there on the bottom, and Tyler Curley on the outside lane. Havrilla, who had a big moment and lost a couple spots early in those first 10-lap run, a near wreck incident, but everybody managed to keep it straight. He's going to be on that second row alongside Bryce Sanders, but green flag is back in the air. Gio Turpin's going to lead him off towards turn 1. Yeah, Curley, he takes a look to the outside, but I think that's just a strategic lining up of bumpers to give him a nice shove through the corner. But, man, it is just not enough to stop that roaring machine of the 29 car. He takes charge up to the front. And, man, look at Turpin. Curley dives down to the middle. He has put his Toyota teammate, Gio Turpin, 3 wide, and he brings Sean Rowe along with him. Now, if you're Gio Turpin, that can be frustrating, but it's only lap 18 of a 70-lap race. That's not something you need to hold on to. You need to let that go. You're still up here with your Toyota teammates. Make sure you stay together and get yourselves back up towards the front to put yourself in a good position, track position-wise. Cole Denton pushes Havrilla way out front, and that's not good because look at this. Now they're separated. Look at this massive run the 99 and the 43 are going to have. Havrilla still throws the block, and Curley gets put back in. Oh, my goodness. I thought Curley was about to go head on into the outside wall, but everybody manages to keep it straight. And somehow, Norris, the 29 is held onto the lead. Yeah, big group of cars up there on that outside lane. But the difference is you need a lot more cars, I think, on that outside groove to really make it work or to carry a lot more speed. But on the inside lane, a shorter distance around the racetrack. So you don't necessarily need many guys down there on the bottom to make that work, as Rowe ditches Curley up on the outside and says, I'm going to hold on to this lead for a little bit, as Cole Denton pushes it back to the stripe. A lot of single file action here for the moment, and as I say that, Tyler Curley, you can count on him. He's going to make things interesting. Youngblood jumps out of line, accepts that push from Curley, but it looks more so, Norris, like it stopped his momentum more than anything. But now look at Cole Denton. He decides he's going to make it a side-by-side battle for the race lead. Oh, Brilla, really tight move down to the bottom. He didn't look like he's going to have the space to jump down there, but Cole Denton, lucky enough, gave him the space, a quick side draft, but the 29's still going to fall back. And now Sanders has the quarter panel up top. Things are rolling. Cole Denton down there in the thick of it. Bryce Sanders, the Ford, out front with Curley in tow. Gio Turpin has to check up. And now that lets Denton get back to the bottom.
Gio Turpin in front of them. That's going to stall out their momentum. Sean Rowe getting the 42 a little loose. But the 6 car almost got turned by the 43. But they're going to be setting up pretty good for now. But I guarantee you in about a lap or two, the outside is going to get rolling again.
Yep, they're back to single file racing. Now, Norris, we did just see a cycle of pit stops. So nobody at this point should have to worry about fuel for the foreseeable future. As you see Sean Rowe jumping up to the outside, trying to make something work on the outside of his teammate of Wyatt Youngblood. But right now, there could be an early mode of fuel saving to try to make it a little bit farther on this run. So maybe you pit a little bit later. But do you think we see some varying strategies when it comes about lap 45 or so when these guys have to hit pit road again?
I think about 45, some guys are going to come in and try to just top off, get some more fuel, and then try to run to the end. But some others may try to gamble it. Like, we may have cautions at the end. You know, cautions breed cautions. All it takes is one yellow to send the race into a tailspin. We've seen that many times in racing. So I wouldn't be shocked if some guys try to stretch it and bank on cautions here at the end.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but we see these guys, they're still getting dicey. They haven't stopped racing each other side by side. They'll fall back in line, get a little single filed out, but that's just until they have enough momentum, enough time to build a run, because look at Cole Denton stuck in behind Bryce Sanders, but Sean Rowe makes a quick move to the bottom to try to challenge for the lead.
More cars on the outside. Sanders is going to go to the lead. Denton, his best friend, going to push him. And I think for now, Sean Rowe and Tyler Curley are going to try to work together, and those two leaders are going to jump down low, so that's going to stall the top line out a little.
Bryce Sanders won in Thursday Night Thunder at Atlanta Motor Speedway just a few weeks ago. Cole Denton, the winningest driver at Thursday Night Thunder in the Young Lions Legends division, as currently he holds on to that second place spot with Sean Rowe jumping to the outside.
Sean Rowe going to the outside, two potential future stars in our sport. He's got Curley in tow. He's going to get the help necessary to clear those two and go to the lead.
That top row is a mass collection of Toyotas. You've got the 99, the 43, the 84, the 19, the 44, and the 57 of Powell. A whole line of Camrys trying to make a charge to the front versus the two American-powered Ford and Chevrolet down there on the bottom.
Yep, those Toyotas on the outside have a really good run going, but the inside, once again, shorter way around the racetrack. They're going to keep competitive with them. Rowe's got he's going to clear, he's got the 6 cleared, 43 barely cleared of the 6, but I don't think those two on the bottom are done battling.
Justin Rott and Brady Cox officially out of this race. 12 cars now make up the field, and you see them currently on your screen. 4 cars on the bottom, 6 on the top. Joshua Parks way out back along with Blaine Miller. They had a moment on the restart, so they are lagging behind. They're hoping for a caution as Sean Rowe jumps up to the high side, following Bryce Sanders in that bright gold 6 car. But man, look at this lockout from the two Young Legends drivers trying to lock out this front row. But Sean Rowe says, "It's my time," drives it down to the bottom of the racetrack and hopes to get a little help from Cole Denton.
Like I said, just like Brad Keselowski, pulled a smart block, went down to the inside. Now he's going to try to take the lead away from the 6 car. Curley committed to the top lane. What will he try to do? We know he's an aggressive play racer.
I'll tell you one guy who I've been noticing a little bit maybe of what his strategy is Sanders struggling up there on the high side, and he's pulling that whole top lane back with him.
High lane's on the slow sled. Curly jumps slow smartly. So does Geo Turpin. They want nothing to do with that 6 car. Slowed up their momentum entirely. So now they're back to single file. So that 6 car's back.
Yeah, Curly, though, he's not going to let that hold him down for long. You see Habrilla already jumping out to the high side, maybe trying to give Curly a little bit of drafting help as he looks up there, maybe thinking about making that second lane work. But now Curly has Geo Turpin. He's got the 42 of McDonald. They're going to make a jump to the high side. Cole Denton jumps out there as well. Curly doesn't even think twice, pushes Sean Rowe out front, and makes it 3 wide to jump to second.
What a move by Tyler Curley to split him 3 wide. Cole Denton going to the back of the field now on the outside. He'll be back in a lap or two. Don't worry about him. But Tyler Curley making a great move to go to second.
Oh no, Cole Denton just tagged the wall off turn 4. Is something going awry with the 46?
Something might be amiss on that car. I think he might have just got tight out of 4 and just lost the top. We're on board with him. The way it sounds, nothing sounds amiss. I believe he might just... Nope, he'll be good, actually. He has draft still. We'll end up catching the back of the pack. He'll be right back.
Yep, he's going to pull back that lead pack. He's going to reel himself right back in as everybody else up front, they start getting dicey. He's even back here again with Bryce Sanders. They might trek a bout for the front, but one guy I was going to talk about is that 57 of Jordan Powell. He's kind of trying to get in the mix now, but he's been hanging out back. He's content. He's not trying to get he's not trying to get more than he's worth at this point in time because he knows he's got plenty of laps left. 42 laps to go at the line. Jordan Powell knows there's plenty of race left, and if he wants to win this thing, he's got to survive to the end.
Yep, Powell had that incident earlier, kind of took him out of the fun here at the front of the pack that was going on. He was riding around in the back for a little bit, but now is up there in the lead pack, and now is just content, ride it out, just watching these boys battle out. Maybe we'll see him pounce later and try to steal a victory.
Yep, he falls back again. He's going to be right in front of that 44 car, who I feel after their incident, or after McKinney's incident rather, is trying to play it a little bit safe as well, given he probably used his own fast repair. But now Geo Turpin goes side by side with Sean Rowe for the race lead.
Yep, Turpin to the inside. He's going to try to take that 84 car, the 2-time Daytona 500 champ, Jimmy Johnson, my hero, to the front. Nice to see that paint scheme out front.
Yeah, the paint scheme is a beautiful one. That petty blue with the Carvana colors. And it's so odd to see that what is basically his number that made his career backwards. It never quite sits right with me, seeing it on top of a race car like that. But Sean Rowe powering up on the outside. Oh, Bryce Sanders, he has a bit of a moment, decides to jump all the way down to the bottom. He's going to fade way out back, decides, hey, things are getting a little dicey up here. I'm going to decide to fall on back. And wow, he lost a lot of time there, Norris. I'm afraid Sanders may just risk losing the lead pack.
That may have done him in, but unless he can catch the pack, yep, the pack checks up, so he'll have a chance. Yep, he'll be right back to him. It's just like a yo-yo. He'll be right back to the start of it.
You're really close. You're exactly right, Norris. There's that yo-yo effect. It's very powerful, but it also has its breaking point. There's a limit, especially with these next-gen cars. They have a wake, but it's not, I would say, as large as in years past with the Gen 6 car. Even on iRacing, the kind of wake that these next-gen cars leave just doesn't quite, pull as strong until you get off the corner. Now, Sanders was lucky that these guys are staying side by side, because had they been single file, that's when it gets even more difficult to try to pull yourself back in. But luckily, he hangs out there on the high side. He's riding out in behind Jordan Powell with Sean Rowe and Tyler Curley out front.
Yeah, like you said, these next-gen cars, the Gen 7 vehicles we got here, not as big of a draft wake as the Gen 6 or Gen 5 or even Gen 4 cars for that matter. You'll be back. You can be back, what, half a second in the Gen 6 and you'll catch right back up. But in these cars, it's really easy to lose the draft. So very fortunate Bryce Sanders to be able to catch the lead pack after falling out like that.
Now we're in the middle of a green flag run, and if you guys used to watch the live streams at all, we had a little segment we take from NASCAR on Fox, so go ahead and turn your YouTube volume up, your TV volume, your phone volume, whatever it is, and listen to the sound of these next-gen cars racing around Daytona. We are back from the Crank It Up segment, and me and Norris were just chatting it up about how we decided we were going to have fun with this, and yet we still decided to call this like it's an MRN race. But we're having a good time nonetheless. If you were watching there under that green flag run, you noticed Sean Rowe way off the pace, continuing to fall back through the field. Norris, I think it's possible he may have had like some kind of an overheating issue. We've seen that with those next-gen cars, especially if you push too aggressively. I feel like you kind of have those things that happen. But either way, we're going to see if we can possibly get a little bit of a mid-race interview going on here. I don't know if we're going to be able to do it, but let's see if we can. Tyler Curley, ladies and gentlemen, currently running second on the racetrack. Tyler, how's your race car feel as you head around this place at 200 miles an hour?
It feels pretty good, but you're about to stay at home for a little green flag pit stop action because we're in this town.
Well, here we go. All right. So
huge pack coming.
Walk us through it. Big pack about to come through to pit road. A couple of cars break off. Curley diving it down and in. Curley, walk us through it.
If I don't lock up right here, it should be pretty good. I get down to 60 miles an hour, second gear, full green lights. So good there. I got to focus and get my pit stall here, and then I'll continue talking.
Keeping an eye out front for that 43 pit stall number. Dives it down and in. Finds his spot pretty easily. Points it towards the outside. Now, Curley, when you point your car outwards just a little, I mean, it's the slightest difference. Does that help you when getting out of your box?
It should help a little bit if I don't spin tires like I did right there. It just kind of helps you arc out your exit, especially if there's a car in front of you. It helps you see what's going on. So now we should be able to all single file out right here. And we will get back up onto the racetrack and hope that no one spins out off of pulling off their tires a little bit. That's a really flat apron.
Now 30 laps to go. Do you guys think you can make it on fuel? Where do you guys sit in that situation?
We have I personally have 25 laps of fuel, 24.8 right now.
Ooh.
So we will be a one-stop race unless we get another yellow.
Now, if I may, if you guys get another yellow, will you be in fuel save mode or will you pit just in case?
Sorry, what'd you say? Sorry.
He's doing math.
I was admin. Sorry.
I was gonna ask, if you guys get another yellow, are you gonna go into fuel save mode and shut it off and try to ride it out, or will you pit one more time just to be safe?
Me personally, knowing the people that I've been racing around and how aggressive it's been, I'm gonna be pitting and taking a full tank because I don't know how many extra laps we'll be doing. So, but
Your point.
you know, we'll see what happens. But I mean, it's been a pretty good race so far. I hope y'all have had a lot of fun. I've had a lot of fun. Just a little bit of aggression's been a little bit too much, but it's still been a lot of fun. You know.
Oh, yeah, been pretty good, been pretty clean. Only one incident so far. I think we're all having fun up here.
I will ask, what happened? Do you know what happened with your Toyota teammate in the 99 of Sean Rowe? What happened there? Because you noticed him off the pace.
He dropped back to start saving fuel, and his internet started going out, I believe. So he was unable to retain the draft and ended up falling out of it.
Well, there we go. Well, Tyler, thanks for taking a minute to talk with us, buddy. Good luck in the race, and maybe we'll talk to you in Victory Lane later today.
I don't think I'll be in Victory Lane, but I'll talk to y'all later.
He's either going to be in Victory Lane, Norris, or he's going to be in the junkyard, because that is how Tyler Curley likes to operate at plate tracks. If you ever raced against him, you probably know that. Or if you spotted for him, even. You spot with Tyler. It normally doesn't always go well at these plate tracks. We're either winning or we're in the trash heap out in the middle of the infield. But either way, currently single file, 42! Tagged! Big moment for McDonald, and that changes everything with 29 laps to go.
Man, I saw that in the corner of the screen. I don't think that'll be a caution unless they throw one. Nope, they're going to be going, I believe.
Oh, this is going to be a yellow here. Yep,
Oh,
there's
yep,
the
yellow.
Yellow out on the racetrack. And now while they're going through this yellow cycle, this is going to change a lot of things for a lot of guys. But let's run it back and see what happened. Looked like Jordan Powell may be the cause of the incident.
And while this may throw a wrench in a couple of guys' strategy, because Curley just pit in a bunch of those guys, and I don't think they have enough fuel burned yet to where if they top off, they'll make it to the end. So this calls for interesting strategy. I'll put on my Larry Matt glasses for a sec and say I think they stay out this caution. If we get one more, they definitely will go in. But here's what happened. Jordan Powell just caught the 42 in the right rear quarter panel. 42 was doing a little bit of weaving, just trying to, both cars were just trying to stay in the draft, minimizing their runs, minimizing how much they're passing and on their fuel strategy, and just ended up hooking them.
That's exactly what it looks like. We'll run it back here one more time at full speed because Powell kind of keeps that same distance, about half a car length to the 42, really weaving all over the place. I do agree with you there, Melissa. I don't entirely blame the 57 there, because the 42's kind of moving a little sporadically here. I mean, even through the corner. Watch the 42. Right here. Right. Left. Right. All the way right. All the way back left. And then Powell's there to try to give him the push. Now,
I believe the first weave, if you go back, I think he got a little squirrely out of the corner. If you take a look.
yeah, right there.
Yep, he did.
Drops down to the yellow line, comes all the way back up top, and then realizes he's kind of fading around a little bit. That's just not great heads-up driving from the 42, but I guess you could also say that for the 57 as well. But either way, a tough break for both cars.
Yep, just one of the mole racing deals. I think he still has a faster pair in his back pocket, so he'll definitely be back in the race. But like I said, this changes everything. Put on the Larry Mag glasses. Oh, they do come in to try to top off, but do they have enough fuel burned? Because as you saw, I don't know how much fuel they took, but they had about 25 laps left. If that was a full tank, no, they're going to take tires. So this is a pretty good call in my opinion. Taking tires under caution, being safe. Haven't taken tires all race.
Yep, 43 of Curley takes tires as well. 44, 57 on pit road. Gio Turpin heading off of pit road, and McDonald's still back there as well. He's still sitting on pit road, so he might have had minimal repairs, I imagine, Norris, from that incident, and maybe saving that fast repair, keeping it in his back pocket for later in the race, because we heard Curley mention it a minute ago. Racing around these guys and knowing how aggressive they are, it's very liable we're going to end up with some overtimes. Oh,
yeah, we all know how these boys race it out. I mean, if the Cup Series can have 5 overtimes in Nashville, I can't imagine how many overtimes we'll have here going on iRacing.
It's going to be a show for sure. Sean Rowe back in this thing and back on the lead lap. He was showing being a lap down during that pit cycle after losing the draft with those internet issues, like Curley said. But Rowe now back in contention. This caution was probably a saving grace for the 99, as he's going to be back with the lead pack.
Oh, yeah, he was definitely praying for the yellow to happen, and Sean Rowe will be right back in contention. You know how the 99 is. He'll be right back up there in the front of the pack.
Always fast is Sean Rowe. But out front, it's going to be the 29 of Brad Havrilla. Now, Brad is one of these drivers, I feel like. And actually, I want to take a look at his race car, because I heard it was a Honda Civic. That doesn't look like a Honda Civic to me. That looks like a Toyota Camry with some camo over top. But oh, it looks like we got some more takers to pit road yet again here. Maybe trying to really push this thing to the end.
Maybe trying to top off. Like I said, who knows how much fuel they had burned. I don't think they burned enough to where if they took fuel, they'd make it to the end, because I think they might have been a couple laps short.
Well,
so maybe just top it off.
3 of these drivers, Rowe is looking like he's planning on coming down pit. Yeah, all these drivers, the 42, the 84, the 99, Curley, who's now in his stall. Yeah, that's definitely just to top off on fuel. So I think as the pace car gives the 1 to go signal, lights are off on the pace car, it looks like these drivers are just trying to minimize fuel to see who can make it to the end. So if this goes green, we may have a fuel mileage race on our hands.
Oh boy, it'd be like the 2017 500. People start dropping like flies at the end. We'll see who can stretch their fuel. If this goes to the end, I would be very interested and very shocked to see this thing go all green.
I would be as well. Cole Denton gets his car fully topped off on fuel. Sean Rowe waiting still in his pit stall, as well as the 6 of Bryce Sanders. Sanders gets topped off, and he heads out of the pit box.
Be interesting to see the strategy call here. Like I said, if we get another caution, I guarantee you we'll see a lot of people coming down pit road to try to top off, because then they'll definitely be able to make it if we get a caution even after this. But for now, we'll see how close they are on fuel. I wish we were able to see the fuel gauges on these cars.
I know. But that gives that next level even of suspense, right? To wondering, will they make it? Or is there going to be any kind of way that they can make it to the end? But Havrilla, he's evidently not worried about that at this point. He's evidently, him and his team are anticipating some cautions, because he decided to stay on the racetrack. He said, I'm going to hold on to this track position. But I don't know really how valuable track position is with 28 laps to go, Norris, in a 12-car field now after some dropouts. I don't know how this is going to go, but either way, pace car is off, and it looks like we got a single file restart.
Yep, we're going to have single file here. If I'm Brad Havrilla, I want to be in the back and work my way to the front here at the end of the race. Knowing how it goes. Green flag, though. Toyota's leading the bottom line. Tyler Curley already up to P3. Jamie McKinney going to the outside, going to try to take the lead. Curley and Jordan Powell in tow with him.
Yep, plenty of Toyotas here. You have to go all the way back to Bryce Sanders back there in 7th to find a car who isn't a Toyota in this field. And now he's going to try to strive up to the front. But, man, they got a lot of beating and banging up here for the top spot. Look at Jordan Powell. We talked about him saving earlier, but now he's going for the race lead.
Havrilla with a really tight forcing the gap there. Going to make it work. But Jamie McKinney going to the lead, getting pushed by Jordan Powell. Powell, we were just talking about, was in the back for most of the race, but now right up to the P2.
A lot of separation here between this pack. A lot of single file as well. You have to go all the way back to Youngblood until you get Havrilla here. He's going to take a look to the outside. Thinks better of it. Drops back down to the bottom. But you got to go all the way back to that 9th row. The 10th row now to Wyatt Youngblood, who's looking to the outside of his teammate and Sean Rowe, but not able to make a move work. He falls back in line. Plenty of single file here now. Norris, I am not entirely surprised because we talked about fuel save mode. Oh, and we got a spinner! Big moment there for Jordan Powell. We got to reckon, but he's going to go off-roading through the road course.
Oh, he saved it, but as I was just going to say, Ryan, I believe they're single filing because I don't know if them boys can make it on fuel. You saw the fuel strategy. We were just talking about it, so I'm not entirely shocked like you said.
I don't know if they can.
Boys single it.
Man, look at the 91 coming with a big run on the outside. That's Blaine Miller. He was 10th going into the start of this lap, and now he's driven all the way up into the 4th spot.
Well, scratch what we just said. Blaine Miller going to the outside, pushing Bryce Sanders to the front. Gio Turpin and Wyatt Youngblood there as well. Sanders to the lead.
My question is if you're Sanders, if you want to save fuel, this is not the way to do it. Being that first car right in the front of the lead pack, you're going to be the car burning the most fuel. The guy in the best position right now for that instance is at 42. Matt McDonald there on the inside, the very, very last car on that inside lane. He's in the best position fuel-wise because he doesn't have to use as much throttle. He can really kind of coast a large portion of the way down the straightaways and even through the corners.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Sanders, you saw he was leading the pack. Now, Gio Turpin, big block in front of there.
Big moment for Sanders. But, man, look at him. He's getting aggressive, pushing all over the back bumper of that 84.
This begs the question, can he make it on fuel, or is he just being aggressive, banking on another caution? But, like I said, if I was out there on the racetrack, I'd be where Tyler Curley and Pat McDonald are. I'd just sit in the back waiting for fuel.
3 wide for the race lead. Here comes Havrilla. He jumps up in front of the 84. Man, look at Youngblood. Even thinks about 3 wide for a second, but he gets up, put in the vacuum. He's going to the back.
Yeah, and a textbook 3 wide move by Havrilla there, just taking commanding lead. Even Bryce Sanders all the way out there, going to push him. Those two are going to be setting ducks. The pack is going to come up quickly and swallow those 2 cars. Look at this one they had in the tri-oval.
Yep, 99's already got it going. Big shot to the back of the 84. He's going to try to get this row of 4 Toyotas rolling all the way to the front. They're going to pick up a 5th in Wyatt Youngblood, who gets a big run to the back of Curley. And now they're going to try to make up the distance. But wow, look at this, Norris. That distance has only kind of stayed the same right now. They're kind of holding on to this, and now Sanders is going to get a run back to the 29. It looks like this lead is growing for the 2 out front.
Oh, this might, what we were just talking about, this might be fuel strategy. Gio Turpin might be holding his Toyota teammates up and saying, hold on, boys, let's save some fuel. Let those 2 burn up all their gas and race it out at the front. I like this call.
I was going to say, if you are this line of Toyotas, I don't necessarily disagree, because if those 2 out front are keen on racing hard, look at that distance. Look at that massive gap to those 2 cars versus this line of Toyotas. You can definitely, let's listen to Gio Turpin's onboard here shortly. Listen to that off throttle time, and he's leading the pack.
This reminds me of this year's 500 with, I believe it was David Reagan and Ryan Brees doing the same thing, backed up everyone. Waiting on fuel strategy. It's like a 2-car tandem out there at the front, like 2011.
2-car tandem for Sanders in the 29. You know, Norris, I wonder if it's possible that the 6 and the 29 can build a big enough lead that maybe they can pit before the lead pack. You know, maybe the lead pack can't make it on fuel. Maybe the 6 and the 29 knows something that they don't. Because look how far back they are.
I was thinking that in the back of my head too, but maybe they can make it, and those Toyotas might be screwed over. They might have timed it out perfectly, those boys out front, but we don't know, and I don't think the Toyotas know either.
I don't think any of these drivers know, and I don't think they're going to know until maybe inside 5 laps to go, Norris. We may see a whole lot of cars taking that trip down pit road inside 5 to go to save their races, and really it's going to come down to who saves the most, but it may even come down to who runs out first, because if everybody runs out, whoever the first car is to run out and makes it to pit road, maybe the first car who gets back on the racetrack and gets back to the line first.
I mean, yeah, it's going to come down to a race of who's got the most fumes. As, they've caught these boys right back up. Sean Rowe ain't playing any games. He's caught Gio Turpin right back to the 2 of those boys. These going to the top side.
Yeah, Sean Rowe decided he was sick of waiting around, and maybe even the 6 and the 29 realized their plan wasn't exactly going the way they'd hoped. But now here we are. We're back in this 2-wide situation. So it looks like everybody decided, well, guys, this whole fuel saving thing, it's not going to work out. Because now everybody's right back in business.
Yeah, but it seems like their plan went belly up. I think the 6 and 29 either realized, hey, we've got to save fuel too. Or you know what? They said, we might reel them in, get a little cat and mouse game here, and make those boys burn their fuel. If anything, if those 2 can make it on fuel and they lured that pack back in the battle and waste fuel, that is a really good strategy.
It is a really good strategy. The question is we don't know. That's the worst thing about this whole thing, is we have no idea who is really the winner or the loser in this situation, or who is able to go the furthest on fuel. We heard Curly say he could go 25 laps on his fuel tank, and that was with about 30 to go, a little less than 30 to go. So either way you look at it, these drivers are within somewhere around 4 or 5 laps short. I don't know if it's possible, Norris, to save 5 full laps of fuel at Daytona.
I don't think so either, but remember, we had that caution right at about, I want to say 28, 29 laps to go, and then we had a caution period about 4 laps, guys pitted, topped off on fuel, so it's either you're going to miss out by a lap, or you might just barely, ever so barely be able to coast to the finish line.
That is true. They did have that yellow. Here's Jordan Powell coming off pit road yet again. With Jordan coming off pit road, that's going to put him a lap down, but he'll have no problems making it back to the checkered flag. And with him as the only car a lap down, that would make Jordan the lucky dog. So if there was a caution that happened to come out, Jordan would be able to cycle back to the lead lap. And crazy enough, Norris, if Jordan was to get that, he could possibly pick up some track position there as well.
Yep,
assuming some cautions fall the wrong way, because he did pit before, because he is pitted and he's capable of making it the full distance.
Yep, he's able to make it the full distance. These cars maybe not at the front. In 3rd place right now, we got the 91 of Blaine Miller. You know, this could be a car. He's one of the only Chevy, I think the only Chevy in this pack of cars. We don't know his strategy. I think he might have come in with the Toyotas, but I think he's on his own strategy. He might have went off speed onto them. Is that Denton in front of them?
I believe that is the 46 of Denton. He had some kind of an issue on pit road. I believe it was a speeding penalty.
That'll do it.
And unfortunately, that caused him to lose a singular lap, and then ultimately got lapped again while serving the penalty. So he was already off cycle, and then got lapped in the off cycle, and then had to pit. So that put him those 2 laps down. But that's going to be his 3rd lap. And that's just from not being a part of this lead draft. That just shows you how crucial it is to be a part of this group at Daytona.
Yep, old Denton's effort went belly up, unfortunately, in the pit lane. You got to hit all your P's and Q's when you're down there. Can't be speeding, and unfortunately ends his day. As you can see, he's 3 laps down. Still hanging tough in the lead track, though, and trying to salvage what he can. You know, this race could get crazy. You never know. But
all Cole Denton wants is a buttload of cautions. That's all the 46 could possibly hope for.
He's hoping for the chaos.
Yeah, he's hoping for the chaos, and he's hoping he avoids it. Now, especially now that he's a part of this lead pack. But there they go. They cross the stripe. That marks 13 laps to go. And if I put on my Larry Mack goggles, Norris, I've watched enough NASCAR races to know that when Larry Mack brings out his thinking glasses and he says, you know, oh, when's the average last time for the last caution or whatever. At tracks like this, it's normally inside 15 to go.
I was going to say, if we put on the layered back glasses, you know, bring out the cheese grater with the tires and all that, the average of the last caution, now Daytona, we know Daytona all too well. The season opener, Coke 400, we've seen many and plenty of races here throughout the years, throughout various sims and series. I'm going to say the average of the last caution. I don't know this for exact sure. I don't have numbers on me. I'm going to say the average of the last caution will come within the last 5 laps of the race. So that might be something to look out for. These boys might get racy. Someone might go around, or it might be the big one. We never know, and that could put this race on its head.
Field comes flying by through turns 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway. I'm interested. Let's listen to this. Bryce Sanders is on board. You look at that dash. He is not lifting. This kid is pedal to the metal, 5th gear, 8,000 plus RPMs. He is burning the most fuel you possibly can with his next-gen race car.
Yep, he is going full throttle, pedal to the metal, like you said. He does not care. He's leading this pack. He's saying, screw fuel strategy. The heck with that. I want to win this race.
Gio Turpin hanging out back. Now, he may have a different strategy. He's actually behind Cole Denton in line. And if you watch, he's still hanging at about 8,000 RPMs. To me, Norris, it looks like he's basically, he's not really saving fuel either. Now, he's running about 100 less RPMs, but that really doesn't make a whole lot of a difference. He is basically foot to the floor, just trying to stay with this lead pack and only lifting when he gains that time back through the corners. So I think pretty much everybody is either in a mode where they are trying to maybe hold on to this position right now and playing it safe to make a move at the end.
Remember, Gio was the first car in that pack of Toyotas when the 2 packs separated, so he actually saved a lot more than the 6 car, obviously, up front. So he might be trying to stretch it to the end. He might be banking on insurance right now. That's the only reason him and Jamie McKinney are back there. He might just be trying to, insure himself like maybe an extra half a lap or two. But if all goes well, I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see the 84 coast across the line in first place. He might have set up this thing perfectly.
I wouldn't be surprised either, because look at that distance. And McKinney just behind him right now, giving him a little bit of a push to keep him in that span and keeping him in the slipstream right now with the whole lead pack. But everybody's still single filed out with 10 laps to go, and Bryce Sanders is still out front in that 6 Ford Mustang.
I will say, I do like these type of races. This is a chess match at 200 miles an hour with these guys. That's why Youngblood had a little bit of a moment in the trial vote. Got a little squirrely, or might have just let up. But he'll be okay. But like I said, I love these type of races where it comes down to fuel strategy, pit stops, and all that. Because it's like chess. It's all about, trying to force your opponent's hand. In a way, it's also like poker. You got to have a good poker face. You got to bluff. You might have it. You might not. I think it's going to be a real interesting finish if this thing goes green.
I agree. We watch Sanders leading Havrilla still. The 91 of Miller back there in the 3rd spot has a little bit of a wiggle off the rear bumper. Wyatt Youngblood there in the 4th spot. Sean Rowe back there rounding out the top 5 as they run. But they're heading down through the tri-oval. 8 laps to go at Daytona. Norris, I'm not a big math guy. What's 8 times 2.5? I don't know what that distance is.
I think 8 times 2.5, 16, add 4, that is 20.
20. Less than 20 miles to go in the virtual Daytona Speedway. Single filed out. As Norris alluded to earlier, this is chess at 200 miles an hour. But oh no, Norris. We've got a line breakaway here as Sean Rowe has backed off. And oh no, we got a full car! All 4 cars that were out front have headed to pit road.
Oh, I don't think those boys could make it, especially the 29 and the 6. They definitely couldn't make it. Wyatt Youngblood also coming in. So is 91 of Blaine Miller. I'd be interested to see what this main pack does. Do they have enough?
Yeah, they're single filed out now. But look, there's more cars now in this lead pack. Now that you've let those 4 get away, they slowed down there initially, maybe even knowing those front 4 were going to pit. Now, if you guys are going to pit this next lap, if you're going to overcut them and ensure that they don't come out ahead of you, you have to basically pit this lap, or you have to be setting down faster lap time. So at this point, you're pedal to the metal if you're this group of Toyotas, and including Cole Denton in the Chevrolet.
I think if you're this group of cars, you either come in this lap or you try to stretch it. No in between. You can't do anything else, because if you do, then those cars will be right on your tail. And they don't come in, so they're going to try to stretch it.
And here's Bryce Sanders. Oh, no. This does not look good for Sanders. He is all by himself. Miller and Youngblood are already in turn 3. And Sanders is only halfway down the back straightaway. This is not looking good, and Havrilla is kind of in a similar spot. He's a little bit behind those front 2. But man, Bryce Sanders was kind of your big loser here, leading coming down pit road. And now he's basically getting hung out to dry here. This could basically be the end of this race unless he tags onto this lead pack when they come around.
Yeah, his plan might have went Fugazi. I think those cars might have got off sequence in the pit lane. I don't think either someone didn't have a good pit exit or someone got a bad pit stop or something, but unfortunate. If those 4 cars get together, get forced.
Look at that. Look at the dash, Norris. Sean Rowe is saving fuel at 5 laps to go when they just hit the stripe. Sean Rowe is still saving gas, and if he's saving, that means this whole line of cars is.
And he's the front of the pack, so he's burning the most fuel.
Let's go on board with each driver. So here's Sean Rowe. He is nearly basically 1,000 RPMs under the typical if you're at full throttle. If we go on board with Curly now, he's in a similar position, but he is really pushing the 99 through the corner. Jump on the 42. They also have a similar instance of a couple of hundred difference. See, when you have a little bit smaller pack like this, you're not going to get as big a differentiation in those speeds. Now, if we had maybe 15 cars here, that car in the middle, say Denton, in that situation would probably be running, you know, a little under 7,000 RPMs. But either way, there's no doubt about it. All these drivers here are trying to save fuel to make it to the end.
Well, this begs the question, when we get down to 2 to go, does anyone try to make a move, or does anyone try to wait out and see if their fellow opponent runs out of gas?
The thing is that if you wait it out, you yourself might run out of gas. And then what happens then? You're going to leave it in the hands of the 91 and the 19 who just pitted, who are capable of making it to the end, who are half a lap back on the leaders.
Yeah, I believe they may have also made time to those guys, because those boys are running, what, like you said, 1,000 RPM down, so they might be... Yo, you can see it. You can even physically hear it a little bit in the ambience. They are not running full capacity. Those 2 cars got to be pushing 99.
He is out of gas, but the Toyotas are starting to get racy now. 3 laps to go at Daytona.
Yep, they're going to push it now. Oh, Curly with a big block.
Big hole fill there for Curly. I don't know how he made that work. McDonald was really generous there, but you know he's going to remember that come the last final lap.
Yep, Tyler Curly in second, Gio Turpin in the lead. Like I said, if Gio Turpin wins this race, I'm not entirely shocked. He might have the most fuel out of all these boys.
If we go on board with the 84, he is back to full throttle. Gio Turpin is not wavering as they come off turn 4, Norris. They've only got 2 more laps to go when they hit the stripe, and it's anybody's game at this point.
5 miles to go, just like the computer game. These boys are in a single file line, just like it. It's going to be a fuel mileage race, but it's also who can make the move for the win. Curly's sitting there in line. I don't know if Curly can get backed up to those cars behind him. Maybe he'll make a move.
This is gonna be sketchy. These 6 cars can determine who wins the opening season race for the Piston Cup. And Gio Turpin leads them through 3 and 4. And heading to the white flag, Cole Denton jumps out of line. Lets Sean Rowe have that position because he's still multiple laps down. So you're looking at the battle for the win. Gio, Curly, McDonald, McKinley, and Rowe take the white flag one more time around at Daytona.
5 cars to settle it out. Turpin blocks high. Curly goes back low. Curly goes back to the top side. At his quarter panel, going to go to the lead, it looks like. And he has the help from the 42 and the 99.
Whoa!
The 42 is going 3 wide.
Big block from Curly, and now round goes the 84. No!
Urban and McKinley are wrecked.
No caution! Here's the race for the win! Sean Rowe, Matthew McDonald, Curly up into the fence! Here comes the 42!
It's going to be a two-man race going down to the front straightaway. Rowe, what can he do?
We thought Sean Rowe was out of gas. Here they come down the off of the turn 4, up the stripe, beating, banging, Rowe on the high side. Sean Rowe gets it.
Sean Rowe by inches.
Sean Rowe by inches at the line.
The 42's out of gas. Look
The
at that.
42 is out of gas. Right at the line. And
Oh,
so
man.
is Sean Rowe.
They gave it all they had.
They gave it everything and ran out right at the stripe. Unless he's saving fuel for a burnout, Norris. I would not be surprised if Sean Rowe was just trying to make it back around so he could get that burnout in. What a move from Sean Rowe. But I imagine we have a lot of unhappy campers after that final lap.
Oh, man, Sean Rowe went from, I think, last car in line or last lead lap car in line to the win. But, yeah, there was definitely a bit of sketchy blocks thrown on that last lap. I don't know. That 99 definitely does not have enough gas to make it back for a burnout.
Things got so crazy. I lost my words off of turn 4. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was losing my mind. And they were bouncing off each other. It was respectable. It was clean. Now, granted, the 42 did turn the 43 to get there. But still, when you got those two running to the line, beating and banging, that's exactly what you want to see for a finish at Daytona.
Well, we did this one impromptu, and we got... I'm glad we did it.
We got an all-time finish.
Oh, he does have a little bit left. He might be running on fumes.
He is running on fumes, I think. But either way, a big time win for the 99 of Sean Rowe as he wins the season opener at Daytona for the Piston Cup Series.
They're definitely going to be pushing that one back to Daytona, USA. Nothing in it after it. But man, what a finish. But when he does his burnout, I definitely want to go back and see what happened. This all started, this was reminding me of 2021. It all started on the last lap. Everyone was single file. Then once they got in turn 2, pretty much, turns 1 and 2, everyone made their move.
What a move. Let's go back and watch it while Sean Rowe celebrates. I think we just got to see this again because that was just phenomenal. We're going to go all the way back to the white flag. So right here is where we're going to be. If I can get the right camera going here. There we go.
Like I said, Sean Rowe's last lead lap car in this field.
And we thought he ran, the crazy thing was is we thought he ran out of gas with 3 laps to go. That
Yeah,
was the
look at this
craziest
move
thing.
by McDonald.
Ooh.
Yeah, he thought he was out of gas. McDonald went there. 44 McKinley and the 84 ended up collecting each other out of 2. And then this was the big block out of Tyler Curley. He went down the block low, pulled an Almirola and Austin Dillon and put himself in the fence. I think Curley bit off a little more than he could chew there, trying to go into 3. I mean, I don't blame him. You're going for the win.
But look right here. Sean Rowe sets this pass up perfectly. Stays on the bumper all the way through the corner. Pulls up just when he needs to. Beating, banging, all the way to the stripe. And Sean, my goodness. What a finish. We got to run this back again. Let's see this in slow motion. Oh, my goodness.
Do we have a starting line cam?
Hold on. I may have a better angle. Oh, my goodness. The 42 is almost dead sideways. Right there. Wait, hold on. If I can get like a smidge closer. We're going to try to get a smidge closer here. Oh, no. This is so difficult to time. Here we go. All right, we're going to slow her all the way down. What a finish. We've got Sean Rowe here as we're watching the replay. Sean, we thought you ran out of gas coming to 3 to go. You managed to hold on. And right there,
Wow.
is the difference for the win. Sean, how'd you do it?
Plain and simple. I'm the best there is. I wake up and we excellence. Nah. I don't know. Not too many people were happy at the end of that, how that last lap shaped out for all of us. But
I can imagine.
yeah, I don't know. I've done a lot of Daytona races, so I knew what I was looking for. So on like 3 to go, I think you said it was, where I just fell back. I was literally leading that pack, saving fuel, and I told them, if you guys want to go, I'm not doing it first because I did not want to be leading on the last lap and have that move made on me where I can't do anything about it other than wreck them. So I fell back, got lucky with the unfortunate events, and then, you know, I just showed my skill, made the race winning pass, and yeah, 2 for 2.
That was a pretty solid move. I mean, we were talking about you setting it up off of turn 4. Were you anticipating being in that move when you saw all the cars wrecking around you?
Um, I didn't anticipate it being like that. I thought McDonald was gonna get to one side of Curly, and then I was gonna have to go with one of them, and basically whoever was in the top, because it's way easier to side draft with the left side car than the right side. So whoever was on the top in 3, I would have gone with, and then I would have tried to make that move. But, obviously they wrecked, and I got right to his bumper. I was waiting, and I thought I made it a little too early or I made it too late because I thought he was going to wall me or something, but luckily he did not. But I don't know. I got really lucky with that, but I guess you could call it skill.
Well, there you go. I guess you could call it skill. Sean Rowe brings home the win at Daytona. I don't even know what to say. I lost my. If you're gonna end up watching the finish back, Sean, and I lost my words off of turn 4 because I knew it was about to be a classic. I just couldn't put my words together. But it was an incredible finish. Great drive from you. Pretty great race all around. I'm sure there's a lot of people upset about that last lap. I would not even think about that for a second. I guarantee it. But congratulations, Sean, on the win. Great race and a great drive.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, congrats, Sean.
Now,
Thank you.
Norris, I want to get a word with some other drivers who.
Oh boy, I don't think they're going to be happy about it.
Well, I was gonna say maybe, but the two of the ones I was gonna talk to just vanished off the face of the planet, so I have no idea. Oh, well, there's Geo Turpin. This is one I
You got the
wanted to
league
talk
owner.
to. We do have the league owner, Geo.
Yep.
First, I want to ask you a question. First off,
Yep.
as an owner,
Mhm.
I'm sure you're disappointed. Are you in your finishing result as a driver? But for this to be the first race back,
Mhm.
where's your opinion lie on that? Where's your thoughts?
As an overall race, I think this is a very, very good race. Definitely a step up from our silly season. Yeah, what, 2 yellows, 3 yellows? But it's a great race. Had some fuel strategy in there, and I think it was enjoyable. Everyone really enjoyed it. We had just a few hiccups, but nothing like before. So I think we've definitely stepped it up, and it's going to be a good season. Back to your first comment about the team. We had a plan, and we did not execute that plan to the fullest. Me as the driver myself, I think I did everything I could to try and win that race without causing incident. Other drivers had other plans, so I think internally we're gonna have to look at a few things, and might need to look some stuff over for next week. But setting that aside, I think I had a great race. We had a really fast Carvana Toyota. We were in it at the end, and I guess that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, tough way to end for a lot of those guys. It was exciting though, very much exciting. Pretty fun race to watch. Now we also have Matthew McDonald in here, your second place finisher. I don't know, he's muted currently, so I don't know if he can talk. Gio, can he talk? Does he have a mic? I forget.
I'm not. I mean, he talks to me.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, Matthew. Knock knock.
Oh,
There it is.
Oh, there he is, Matthew. I hate to ask you this because I would hate to be asked this, but how frustrating is it to lose by such a small margin?
I mean, I'm more disappointed in the way we worked as a team there. I mean, 2 big blocks, and then he's gonna blame me for it. That's kind of crazy. Anyway, no, congratulations. He made the move off 4 perfect. I was gonna do all I can to try to side draft him, but I wasn't gonna wreck him for it.
You had a couple of other bits of contact there on the last lap. Were any of those, would you say, intentional on your part, or do you think that, in your opinion, that's just kind of the result of racing, as they say?
No, I mean I went over and watched the replay. I mean it's just massive blocks. Like I held my line straight, and you throw a block, and then you come up and you get turned. I mean, as far as the contact off two, that was I kind of got hooked to the 43's bumper and came down into the 84, which is tragic, but nothing intentional, obviously.
Absolutely. Well, it was a fun race to watch either way. You guys put on a heck of a show. But Gio, thanks again for asking us to do. I say this again because Norris and I were like, oh, we're just gonna have fun with this. We're gonna just mess around, goof around, whatever. And then we realized we cannot broadcast without being semi-professional, and for some reason we just can't. But regardless, it was still a great time. I think. I don't know if I speak for both of us. I think it was a great time. We don't get to do this as often as we'd like anymore, but it was a great time nonetheless. I'm glad we could host it for your opening race, and I hope when Ethan takes over for the next bout of races that you guys have just as good a shows, because I know he'll do you guys good.
Yeah, thank you. We will be back next weekend for Las Vegas. Unfortunately, I will not be in attendance for that race, but I will be watching it from the sidelines as a team owner and as a host. So I know that's gonna be a great race. But I will be back for race 3 in Bristol. So got some good races to look forward to in the future. So thank you again for putting on a good broadcast for us and showing the fans what we got.
Anytime. And like I said, this is kind of impromptu for us all, so this wasn't like above all like top of notch production or anything, but we have a good time. Hope you all watching at home enjoyed. If you're watching this back at any point, hope you guys enjoyed the finish. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and end things here after a fun night of racing in the NASCAR Next Gen Cup Series, the Piston Cup Series, here on iRacing at Daytona. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For Norris Andrews, I'm Ryan Murphy, signing off tonight here from virtual Daytona. Goodbye, everybody.
Peace.